Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me on a very exciting day because it is finally the day to collect my new Mercedes AMG GT R PRO. It has been long awaited. In fact, the car arrived a couple of months ago, but I've been off on travels and haven't been able to get it. But I flew back in last night and today we're going to be taking the G63 to go and pick up a trailer to transport the Pro from the dealership over to Topaz, because like always with my cars, it's going to be getting paint protection film at Topaz before we take it out to drive on the road. So today is going to be my first ever time towing one of my own cars in a trailer behind the G63 as was always intended, and it just so happens to be the collection day of the latest Shmeemobile, the GT R PRO. So let's hop in the G, get on the roads and go pick it up. I have driven over to the storage this morning in the G63 and you will see that the weather outside is particularly atrocious today. So this is the right car for the purpose. Driving the brand new Pro would not be, but I just flicked back the covers on the cars to check everything is all in good order, having not been here for the last couple of weeks, trickle charges and the like. The GT R PRO will be joining, but I think in the not too distant future, there might be a new garage setup. I've been talking about it for a while, finding a man cave, a location to use for my cars to be stored that will also look pretty cool as well, and I've found a couple, so watch this space. We've obviously got the GT8, the G, the Lusso, the GT and the 675 LT here. The Senna will be back soon, some of the others dotted all around at the moment it seems, but today is about taking this. Now I did my trailer test so that I've done and passed everything that you need to do in order to tow the weight of a trailer with a car on board. Here in the UK, after a certain age, which was before I started driving, you then had to do an additional test to actually do that. I've got the certificate, all is passed, but to help me, given this is my first time ever doing it, I'm heading to meet up with Tony from Turbo Transport at Topaz, where we will hook up his trailer to the G to take it over to the dealership. There are a few things that you need to think about in terms of doing this, which fortunately Tony has helped me prepare for, but this car, well, it's built for the purpose. We always intended to do it, and I think I'm going to be doing it much more in the future as well. For now though, it's a short little drive to get out to Topaz, to then head over to Mercedes. I cannot wait. I'm buzzing, as you can tell. I will just flip the covers back onto the other cars before we depart, then get this fired up and head on out. Of course, one of the big plans with this, by doing the car in the Topaz skin to match with the Senna, was always to use this for transportation. Today though is the first mini test of this to see how it is all going to work out. Let's hop on board, get this fired up, which sounds awesome, thanks to the Akrapovic exhaust, and then of course head on over then to meet up with Tony, Turbo Transport, who has moved my cars around many times before, to go and see how this is all going to play out. This journey has been London in a nutshell. Roadworks, traffic, the miserable weather, although it is much better than it was earlier on today. So fingers crossed, it might even actually dry up a little bit more later, but it is nothing like how nice it was yesterday out in Dubai. 30 something degrees. Today we're 12 degrees, it's not too bad, but on a new car collection day, nobody wants miserable weather. You always want dry and sunshine. Anyway, let's just open the exhaust valve, make a little bit of noise for a moment while we're heading out. Not too far from Topaz, but what is interesting actually is the engine in this car and the engine in the GT R PRO. They are both the 4-litre bi-turbo V8s from AMG, but set up quite differently. They both actually also have 585 horsepower. This car has the 9-speed auto with 850 Newton meters, 4-wheel drive. The GT R PRO has the 7-speed dual clutch, making I think 700 Newton meters of torque. Of course, a completely different setup, one that is at home on the racetrack, whereas this has the G modes, the locking differentials, is completely set for pulling a trailer, as we are going to be doing very shortly. So I should get to Topaz. I think Tony is going to be here very shortly as well, and then basically we will get them swapped around, the trailer swapped around, so that we can hook it up to this and use some of the technology and systems that the car has to make your life a touch easier to actually do that. But I'm quite looking forward to this. A bit anxious as to how it's going to go, but my first time pulling a trailer, and we're going to go and get the Pro. Arriving at Topaz, and I'm sure at least one person will have asked, why are we meeting here, not at the dealership? Well, given that Tony needs to bring the trailer here, this made the most sense in terms of logistics. It is busy as always. We will park up just here though. I think he's going to arrive in just a moment. This car has some incredible cameras that load instantly to help with everything, including a specific mode for the towing eye, which I will demonstrate in a couple of minutes. But Tony will arrive. I'm parking carefully next to the 720S, and then we will get the trailer hooked up to the G, which I'm actually quite looking forward to, and then over to the Mercedes dealer. And right on cue, he is arriving with the trailer that has transported many of my cars to date. How you doing, Tony? I'm very good, looking forward to this. Thank you very much for coming along to help out. Of course, the weather does not exactly help keeping everything clean and tidy, but we are going to be putting the GT R Pro in here. One thing to think about with this is that you have to change the number plate. Now, in some countries around Europe, the trailers actually have their own registration, but here in the UK, they have to wear the same registration as the car. So you have to get a spare one made up, which I have done. I've got that, we've got everything. This car has the towing electronics and things back here, so you've got the towing eye pre-fitted. All G63s have this, and then just next to that you have the electronics here for the braked trailer to plug in, hook up, and make it all work. So he will go, turn around, come back, we will uncouple the Ranger, couple up the G63, and then get straight, I think, on the road over to the dealership. Step one, we need to uncouple the trailer. Now, they actually teach you exactly how to do this in the test. Tony is much more of an expert than I am, and I will, I say in the test, they teach you in the training before the test, but it's literally a case of you put the wheel down, lift it up, you've got the electronics cable here, you've got the safety lock, lift it up so that it can be released. Is it that easy? I guess when you've done it lots, you know exactly what's going on. Yeah. And then you can drive away, the car in front, and jobs are good.
That's it, and now the car can be driven away.
That's simple. So now we need to do a little car swap, and yeah, hook it up. This is where I drive very carefully back towards the trailer, but when you get close to it, check out this. If you turn the toggle down one, you have this view of the towing ball so that you can line this up absolutely perfectly and then make the connection. It is literally a case of there, done. That easy. I'll pop the car into park, of course auto stop start. We'll go and do the reverse of what we just did to unhook the Ranger, and then we're good to go. Back here then, we are lined up. Tony being the expert today, while I'm kind of learning exactly what you do. This is the first time we have had a tow, and you can see it putting the weight down there. This is obviously greased so that it doesn't cause any troubles. The wheel will get lifted up. I did learn all of this, but it was just before I went to America, so quite a while ago now. That gets stored into place. Obviously you don't want to have that dropping down while driving. Then I guess the lock, where will this go? Electronics is easy, that's under here. That might be easier from this side than your side right now. But I'll get this flap opened up. Done, click, and then rotate to lock it. This is disturbingly easy when you know what you're doing. If you don't have a clue what you're doing, it probably takes you hours and hours and hours and hours.
Release will go under here.
Straight onto there.
And then there you go.
Done. Magic. We're now hooked up. My G and Tony's trailer. Thank you, hero. How cool is that? And ready to go collect a GT R Pro. Are you driving or me?
You can drive first.
An absolutely critical part of this is to check the electronics are actually doing what they should do. So to run through the brake, to have the lights on, to check the hazards, and obviously if you're doing this on your own, you need to ask somebody for some help to go and check. Tony, do you mind just having a quick check if the lights are doing what they should? So if I turn the lights on manually, you can see that bright light is on and doing exactly what it should back there. The car says blind spot assist not available when towing a trailer. It knows that there is a trailer back there. So we can check the brake lights, we've got a thumbs up, we can turn on the hazards, we've got a thumbs up again. So that basically means everything is all good. Yep, lots of thumbs up with indicators and things. So yeah, that's kind of ready to go. Not much view straight backwards, unfortunately, with the big trailer back there. But yeah, hooked up. Thank you very much, Tony.
You're welcome.
The number plate, we've got my spare plate. Tony's just gonna fit this in now, super easy. The trailer is designed literally to have that done. And now we have the matching plate on the trailer and also over on the car, which means we are ready to head on out. Let's jump in and off we go. And we've also, by the way, got a camera system so that we can see, because you got a camera installed.
Camera on the back.
Perfect, and that we're gonna be able to see here. Wonderful, I'm quite excited about this. Let's do it. Now I do know what to do because I did pass my test first time.
Yeah.
But there is still that like slight sense of what's this gonna be like. And I tell you, the car I was driving when I did my test was a lot less powerful than this.
Yes.
And you could tell that there was a trailer behind. This, I mean, I'm aware there's the trailer there, but it's not anywhere nearly as heavy. Yeah. I mean, this car is like massive power, massive torque. I mean, we're about 1,000 Newton meters of torque. What about bumps?
Just take it nice and steady. Nice and steady.
I've been talking, you know this because we've been talking about it for ages.
Yeah.
I have been talking about towing cars with my own G63 for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing it today. This is game on. Amazing. We are turning straight out into a traffic jam. I'm hoping it's not going to take too long, and I do apologise that we're quite far through the video and we haven't yet got to the GTR Pro, but of course it is very important to be careful, to get all of this right, to make sure that we're extra safe and not stressed, given that this is my first time doing it. We're only actually driving, I think, about 5 miles to get to my Mercedes dealer in West London, so we won't really go over about 40 miles per hour, but we will get there before too long when the new car is awaiting. So far so good, driving on roads that I know, which definitely makes this a touch easier than it would otherwise be, but basically with this much power and torque, you don't really notice that there is a trailer behind you when it's completely empty. I think this might be a touch different when there's a car back there, right?
Yeah.
But up to this point, it's not that much of a big deal. It's kind of okay. I'm in control. I know what's going on. And here we are then. So, this first bit shouldn't be too complicated. We've got lots of trucks and things to navigate around, but the Mercedes-Benz dealer is just here. Cool. I can see the car inside the showroom, but we are going to do a little bit of a manoeuvring exercise to end up with this the other way around. This is going to be a bit of a challenge for me, but I think I've got it. I managed to get the G in the trailer reversed, and I tell you, that is not easy. Respect to people who are doing that regularly. I think it takes some getting used to, but this is lined up because right in front of me, inside the showroom, we have my new AMG GT R PRO Designo Diamond White. Let's head inside then to take a look at the car and to go through it in detail. Right here then, the long-awaited arrival, the limited one of 750 AMG GT R PRO. Of course, there were upgrades to the aero, the new front splitter, these support brackets, the canards around the side, the louvers over the arches, the striped decal pack that you see around the outside over the roof as well, a gurney flap on the rear. Back here you've also got those aero flicks, and just look at this. The car looks so cool. I loved my GTR. This looks even wider. The body is actually the same, but it looks even wider thanks to having those extra flicks. It's got the new exclusive wheels for this car, the RXE wheels, the lightweight wheels painted in the titanium grey, carbon ceramic brakes as standard, and the way it worked actually, you couldn't really configure the specification. You had the car kind of as it came, with only the option of exterior colours. So I went for the Designo Diamond White. My GTR was black, so the polar opposite really, but with the grey wheels matching with the grey stripes. You could only have grey stripes, you could have lime green if you had satin grey paintwork. I think the car is probably open. Is it at the moment? Yep, there we go. A quick look inside. Many upgrades here as well. Kind of the facelift, got 20 miles on the clock, the new steering wheel, the new controls, the touchscreen controls in the middle, the digital dashboard, as well as the digital screen in the centre. Still with the bucket seats. We've got the cage in the back. And in fact, let's have a look in the boot very quickly. And just come round where I know there is going to be the surprise of the number plate reveal. The number plates are just inside here. So for this car, SH60MEE, the Shmee plate as always, 60, well, not necessarily a full connection, but kind of looks like go, and this car is going to go, go, go. That is the point of it. We've got the best or nothing quote from Gottlieb Daimler. In this box, I believe, are the harnesses to be installed. At the moment, they're not installed because I'm kind of going to use it initially while it's running in as a road car rather than full-on race car. The guys here have very kindly, though, provided me with an indoor car cover, AMG car cover, which I'm very, very grateful for. That looks incredibly nice. I didn't even realise they actually made those. We also got inside this box, if I can open this up, this is the challenge, to do one-handed while holding the camera, a very nice carbon GTR keyring. Big thanks to them for that as well. Then we've got the usual bits and pieces, the locking wheel nuts and things that actually come with the car. So back there, all GTR as we know, except for the Pro, you get this checkered flag with the bright green R badge, looking really, really nice. So here it is. What do you guys think? I'm instantly in love with this car. I cannot wait to go and drive it in anger. It is going to be doing a lot of that, but of course step one is going to be to load it up inside the trailer to then take it back over towards Topaz. What a thing. Look at this. We're going to take the car outside. GT is going to have the honours. Good, thank you very much. So we'll hear the start up, get this lined up next to the G63 and the trailer. But let's take a listen then, I think in race mode, to the start up. There we go, the grumble away with the V8. So this will come outside. I will run around to the front of it just to see it coming on out, which is always very special. The new headlights as well, actually, I'd forgotten about those. The facelifted style lights, of course the AMG show plate at the moment, that doesn't stay on the car, but it's been obviously sat here for a little bit, so I allowed them to have it in the showroom before I came to collect the car. And now just pull it on out, that thing looks so epic. It's going to be going inside the trailer in a moment, but to have the two new AMGs, because of course I took the G63, sorry, actually I took my old GTR to go and collect the G63, and now today we've got these two side by side. How epic is that? Let me turn on the lights on the G63. This is really, really cool to have these together. Oh yes, I turn them on manually so they don't turn on with the key, but amazing. It has very quickly got rather busy here and we're kind of taking up all of the car park, so we need to get the Pro into the trailer, but before we do, a quick shout out and thanks to the team at Harrington Finance. Of course, we have Shmee150 Finance powered by Harrington, who have pulled through with all of the numbers as always to add the GT R Pro to the garage. There's more information if you'd like to check out Shmee150 Finance down below as well. For now though, it's also quite windy as you can probably tell. Let's get this car inside the Turbo Transport trailer. Getting the trailer opened up, and this is the advantage of not just renting or using my own trailer. Of course, Tony has all of the equipment, all of the straps, the ratchets, everything you need to tie it down and make sure we're all good, and the ramps as well, of course, to help get it back in. And remember, this is going to be pivoted so that it won't quite be that angle. You'd have a problem getting the GT R Pro up that angle in full. And yes, I appreciate him doing the dirty work right now to do all of this. We'll get inside in just a moment. That's a little bit more like it. I think we can probably do that now. It's going to make it a bit easier to get the car inside. I cannot say thanks to Tony enough, Turbo Transport, for his help today, to come with me, to reassure me, and to help do all of these bits as well to get this car inside. It turns out that the front of the Pro is really low. It also comes on the Sport Cup 2 tyres, which are not ideal for these kind of weather conditions, but ready to be loaded up. Of course, the GTR has been around Europe in this trailer, this exact trailer before with Tony, but this now coming in with GT at the wheel, being directed by Tony. Looking so cool. Panamericana front grille, those aggressive headlights, and obviously all of the carbon around the bottom. I love those motorsport style brackets that hold the front end. Big brake discs, big brake discs. Right, all loaded up, ready to be closed, and then start the drive to experience what it's going to be like with the weight of a car in the trailer. Of course, if you think about it, the trailer I think is around 750 kilos and the car must be about 1500 or so. That is quite substantial, basically doubling the weight of the G. But yeah, you would never know that there is an AMG ready to tow another AMG. Ready then to go out and drive. Back into life. So we've got to do this the noisy way. I feel like we should put it into like Sport or Sport Plus or something. No, take it gently, take it easily. We'll get the cameras back on. Yeah, I don't really need to think about anything in particular, do I? Just off we go. The
best thing to do is just take your time. Obviously, you've got to remember that you have got a car in the back of the trailer.
Both so from a weight point of view and
weight point of
view.
view. So like this van in front of us, he's mounting the curb.
Yeah.
Like if you're empty, yeah, you could probably get away with doing that. But with a car in the back,
no chance.
No chance.
And we're immediately stuck.
Yeah.
Immediately, and these people can't go around me because I've got a trailer behind me. He's parked on a double yellow, which is totally not allowed. Well done, everybody. Well done. We're good to go. So, carefully does it. You can feel there's more weight on the back for sure. Instantly aware that it is heavier, but I mean it's still nothing for this.
Yeah.
This thing's just a breeze. It's actually, I honestly thought before that even in the G, that would feel like a heavier lump.
Yeah.
I mean, I've driven all of about 50 metres, but enough to get a small feel for it, with a lot of things telling me blind spot assist and stuffs are off. But well, as I hoped, it is drying up, and we have a very nice rainbow out in front as well. Just cruising. This is actually where it's a little bit nerve-wracking because the lanes are quite narrow and there are lots of cars. And you really do notice, Tony's been telling me about how people always try and push past you.
Yeah.
Every possible opportunity. They see you with a trailer and obviously expect you to go slower, and you are going a little bit slower, but always try and get past. Generally though, if you just kind of stand your ground and drive, it's like driving in a normal, I don't know, this is normal, just easy. Anyway, we're nearly back at Topaz. We are back at Topaz, back where we started out and coupled up earlier on. Magic. Just like that. Thank you, Tony.
You're very welcome.
I mean, we've still got to get it
Pleasure.
unloaded. But that was, I mean, that was that.
It was experience, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
A very good experience.
Let's go get the car out. Tony is now going to have the honours then to drive the car and pull it out. I have not at this point driven it, which is going to be, well, a little bit unreal, but I'm more than happy to see it being manoeuvred. Hear it as he gets it out of the trailer, where it is now very cold. But we're back at Topaz. It's very busy here. Yeah, I'm just a bit chilly. As this is going to be I love that view. I've been looking forward to doing this. It has now been done, but it is time for this to come out and touch back down on the tarmac, a place where I've actually received many cars previously, going back to the 675 LT Spider, all unloaded, ready to go into Topaz right here. This looks like such a beast. It is so cool. I might not have been able to do a completely unique spec for myself, and there are a few things I would have loved to have been able to have. So it's got all the carbon around the front, around the sides, around the diffuser, which I didn't have before. But you couldn't opt to have carbon mirrors or a carbon wing. They had to be gloss black. So you can retrospectively buy the GTR ones or buy European spec ones, which are the same, but you couldn't have those carbon from new here in the UK. Very, very, very unusual. Anyway, this thing looks like a machine, a weapon, and I bet it's going to be a lot of fun to push it hard. The weather can't make up its mind what it wants to do, but Tony is off. We've swapped them around. We will see him again very soon. Heading out with the Ranger. We have parked the G next to the GTR Pro, but yes, it seems to now be a bit of blue up this way, but pretty horrible over that way. We're winter time, hey? This is what it's, well, always like. Now I think, given that it is late in the day, nothing is going to happen right now with the GTR Pro. We will of course follow the process as it goes in to have the initial wash down before it will then get prepped and then have the paint protection film installed. But to see the two AMGs side by side, as I talked about earlier, sharing an engine but so many differences between them. I guess they do both technically have the Panamericana front grills, the large three-pointed stars, and you can actually see the same kind of A shape in the G. They slightly integrated that. Very noisy helicopter flying overhead up there. Oh, look at that. Sun in the clouds. Very pretty sky. But yes, those two cars, what a collection day. Picking this up, the long-awaited arrival of the GTR Pro in the garage. I've been waiting for that one, and it is here now. So you will rejoin me again very soon, where we can get the car prepped for the road, explain more about that. Of course, right now there would be a big risk of stone chipping, particularly with this weather, and well, I don't want to take any chances with a car as special as this. I think there are only about 50 of them in the UK in total, out of 750 cars that they're actually making. As you can tell, I am freezing. I'm going to go inside, hand over the keys, get all of those kind of things done. But thank you very much for watching, as always, guys. Thank you to all of the guys at Harrington Finance, link down below if you'd like to find out more about that. Thank you to GT at Mercedes-Benz Brentford, and thank you to Tony as well for helping me out with the driving today. And of course, how can I forget to say thank you to you guys as well for all of your support, as always. But that is it for this time. I will see you again very soon. Cheers.